Okay. Well, yeah, first of all, thanks for inviting me. I was kind of surprised you did because we're trying to stay low key. The problem with
Right,
not staying low key is we got a lot of haters and they're going to report you and all your ults are going to get banned, as I believe
right.
you have experienced this many times before.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, so basically, I think DTP we started in March, I think 3 years ago. It's coming up
Right,
to the 3 years mark, and I mean, initially it was we had two servers in the alliance. There's actually a lot of infighting. So if you guys know
right,
Demon, it's one of my big keep in my alliance. He was fighting a lot, and he was actually one of the reasons why I started to coin. Because when I this is my
right,
first server, and when I first started playing, I didn't know that you can actually hit each other, and you need a bubble to stay safe. So I was happily killing monster, and then demon just come in and kill me out of nowhere. That started an internal fight that lasted, I think, like 6 months.
right.
Um, so before
But were
that, it
you a
was
NAP
pretty much
server at that time, or were you a BOB at that time?
no. That there was no rule at that time. Demon was not a very targeted person, so all he did was hit me, and he never say a single word on World Chat. So I didn't say a single word on World Chat either. We just, hit
Okay,
whatever we can and set everything on fire.
right.
Yeah. So
But
I
so
think
so
when
it,
I,
so, so it was like Bob from the first day,
yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
so I think what actually changed that was the second season of Shalon that we won. So what
right,
happened is we got to the final and we were scouting around the enemies and they all look freaking big.
right,
So I talked to the R5 of the other alliance and like when it firepower, how about you guys come over temporarily for Shalon and if we win it, we get a lot of good subs and you guys can have maybe a third of the subs for whoever that joined. So they did. So,
right.
what happened is after that, we won that Shalon, and we realized that it's better if we stay as one alliance instead of
So
splitting up again.
how big was DTP at that point, and how big was the other alliance? Do you have like, I mean, not the exact numbers, if you have a faint recollection?
No, I think we were like half the size at that point.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
because I'm just asking, like, because you said you can have one third of the subs, but subs are already like, I mean, given to people who are like top eight or something, right? Like, or top 15, depending on when you win or not, right? So, how was that negotiated that they get one third and you keep two third? What was the
I mean,
basis?
yeah, I mean, honestly, that was negotiated by my own R5, bro. I'm terribly at all of this management stuff, so I just show up, I just hit people. I don't really pay attention to all the details, but it was worked out somehow.
Okay. No, so Karu, like before we move on with the story, a very important question, like because a lot of people in a C5 have this problem, or even C4, right? Like the egos are so big that they cannot ever like make this work. Like if there is like a 6 month war, they can never come together again, like because the hate is so much. How do you work your way around that?
Yeah, I think basically what helped was the fact that Demon never said a word on World Chat, so I didn't say a word on World Chat either. So it was a long, big fighting, but it was civil, right? There's no trash talk. It doesn't get personal. You don't call the
Right,
other, like, basically names. So
right,
the relationship is not sour in that sense. So I would recommend, if you're in your server and you have that kind of infighting, try and keep it civil. Just block the other person if you need to, because matter of fact is you're stuck with that person, whether you like it or not. And even if you're a lot stronger than the other person, they can still do a lot of things that would hurt you and your team. They can steal on your bosses, they can kill your tiles and prevent you from farming. It's just a whole headache to deal with, unfortunately. So I would recommend trying to keep it as evil as possible. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to be divided forever. Like, just look at North and Conan server, right? They have a very good alliance, a lot of good fighters, which is in Sky, and because they were trashy people, that relationship is now forever now, and they can never merge. So they're stuck with each other now.
Right. So basically, keep it low key. Don't go to world chat. Even if the other person is nasty, no need to reply to them. Keep the doors open.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
is what you're
yeah.
saying, right?
Basically,
Okay.
unless you're in the same server with North, which to be honest, I would never be able to do that myself. I'll be as trashy as I can equally on World Chat because that's just how bad they are as people. And what's a good video without some controversial content, huh?
So, moving on. So, after the first Chalons, both teams realized that like you are better off together, right? And
Yep.
then a natural merge happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, what happened after that? Do you have you been like like when in my old server when we merged alliances, there was still like us and them all the time. Was it the same for you in DTP initially, or you just like merged as a happy family from the first day?
I mean, it takes some times to adjust, and it's not just between the two big alliances. We had a lot of smaller alliance on our server that we absorb over time as well. So there's always that initial period where it's still kind of settling in. So there's still that kind of us and them barrier, but eventually, nobody give a shit. What we realized after the merge is Battlefield got a lot easier. I think that was the time right after K40 where C3 hasn't really caught up. Um, if you had a big team, that you had people filling your rallies, back then it was even 25, 30 million rallies were overpowered, right? We were killing everything all the way up to season
Right.
3 of Shalon.
Around AS6, right?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so Battlefield was really easy. The second Shalon was also sort of easy. We won it because no other team in C3 were really at that rallying stage. So I think that was the best time for us.
Who was your main competition at that time?
I think it was Mio, if you recall, Mio and Bro.
BRO. Yeah, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bro. So
correct.
yeah, they were really solid, and Mio's a great player.
And
So
probably
they were
Age of Tomorrow, right?
sorry.
And probably Edge of Tomorrow, right? Or Edge of Tomorrow was not there. EOT,
Yeah, yeah. So EOT, we bit them in semi in that round. I think we lost to them in the next round. Yeah, they
right?
were also very big at that time.
Right. And Val, like I think it was A. Yeah, Val, like Ichiro. But when did Ichiro become a serious threat?
I would say three Shalons ago. Yeah, I think
On which the one
yeah. So the one that he won was season the last one was season 7, right? I think he won season 5.
season 4 and 5, right? He won season 4 and 5, and you
Yeah,
won season
yeah,
6, and they won season 7 again.
correct. Yes.
Right. Okay. So yeah, so season 2 and 3 were like pretty easy for you. You're saying like not like because other teams
Yeah,
really hadn't caught up with that kind of rally cap.
yeah, yeah. Those were good times.
Right. 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 Uh, so like I mean, so like once you win season 2 and season 3 without much competition, what do you do to keep the motivation going?
Well, actually, we won the first 2 seasons. I think the motivation obviously is get it 3 times, right? I think if you got it 3 times, it's a pretty big thing. So I think that's part of the motivation. Um,
Right.
but I think from the beginning, what really motivated was really motivated people was just the fact that they're part of the rally team. Because I mean, our alliance has a lot of low coining people or non coining people. I think apart from a few VIP 19 and 20. I don't think we have any
Right.
21, by the way, but we have a lot of from 15 to 17. So, as a free to play players, just the fact that you can be in the rally team, join rallies, and actually zero big keeps, I think that's a pretty good feeling. So that motivate people by themselves. So we we try to include everybody in rally. Doesn't matter how sucky your stat is, right? I remember back then, I think our requirements of being a rally team was just having 1,000 range attack. So the first thing we tell everybody is, you get to 1,000 range attack, you only have one range march, that's fine. Just join the battlefield, be in the rally, and you can join 2 rallies and you're done because you're out of troops. That's fine. Um,
Right.
so that's how we're able to fill big rallies, and we also give people in rally team more benefits, right? If you're in the rally team, you'll be prioritized for certain things. You can have more ults in the alliance. So I think all of this management is important to get into motivating people. Um, that's why I also think having a good R4 team is super important. Like if you know me, I don't do shit in my alliance. I basically just log on during battlefield and maybe sometimes play a little bit of SVS. But the rest of the time is the entire alliance is run by my R4. Like Frick, Stage, Night, Fourth, and Tech was my old R4. That's super helpful. So I think, if you want a successful alliance, you definitely need a good management team. They handle everything from the most annoying things from answering players, silly questions to actually checking out their build and getting them to do the right thing. I think otherwise you would have a alliance that have some people completely clueless and that just screw you up.
So a very interesting point here. You said that you have R4s who look at everyone's build, and I want to touch upon this. And I think Nox also can speak here that they also have a lot of they have Nox who looks and Oz who looks at every keeps, and even we have like me and Kara who looks at every keep, like some keeps which are not working. So could you just like briefly tell about the importance of having someone who is probably a little more knowledgeable about the build, look at everyone's keep?
Yeah, I think the matter of fact is not everyone in your alliance is gonna know what they're doing, right? They can be VIP 20 plus and they can be doing the wrong thing. Like not building the right blazon, not having the right setup on your marches, not doing what they're supposed to do and wasting stuff like ascending the wrong generals, specializing in the wrong general. So you definitely need someone to oversee that process. So that's
Right.
why I mean all my R4s are super knowledgeable about the game, and they help check that one out. There's actually something that I also learned from you because you recommended doing that. So I've started, especially for core keeps in my rally, to actually check through the build and do it. So sometimes you just have to put in the work um, if you want the best
Right.
result for your team, basically.
Do you have a build guide also?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have a ultra secret build guide that, of course, I'm not putting it out there, but we do have one, and we force everybody to follow it.
Right, of course. And has that helped?
I don't know. We just started like I think 2 months ago, so we'll see.
Right. So what we have is Nox, you're on mute, and you can actually add on to this if you can unmute yourself. So what we have as a target is that you cannot get soloed by anyone. Like if you're getting soloed, you cannot build above 10 billion. Like if you're getting soloed for 1 billion 5 plus, you cannot build above 10 billion. This is something we have, and uh, like it seems like a little tyrannical, but this is something that our lower players actually agreed to, and they said that this is how we want it to be, that we want to build like the buffs first and then build troops. Do you have something like this or not, like
Yeah,
or a variation of this?
yeah, yeah. So we basically have a more extreme version of T1 War. So it doesn't really help with defending against the siege solo, but I think that's just something that we have to live with. So, they
Right.
can be siege solo, take a bunch of their siege, and they're just huge siege marches to join rally one at a time. But after that, it'd be pretty hard to zero them. So we have the same kind of goal in mind. And I think especially after K45, where all this big keeps the big solo keep can really just win the entire battlefield by themselves because you can't rally them and go positive. They can solo you and go positive. So it's just one single K44 45 can really win a battlefield. So that's what we're trying to counter right now.
Right. So, like this is like, I mean, if I understand, DTP didn't really push very hard after K45. So you can have like a K44, like a fully maxed K44 solo a lot of people, right? So how do you counter this in Battlefield? or is
Yeah, I
there
think
any way
we.
to counter it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we play season 7 of Shalon, and we get to final, and all of our keeps were 40. So we didn't have a single K41 because what happened is just a month before that, all of our alts were banned. I think I lost a bunch of resource and a bunch of alts. I was just kind of lazy, so I didn't make any new one. Um, I mean, there's really nothing you can do, honestly, when you don't have a big keep to solo and all your keeps are susceptible to being solo. So I think that's what started the build plan that I talked about afterwards, which is we need to get to the point where you can't solo us, and we need to slowly increase how much we fill as a team. I know this would not apply to most teams, but I think you need to get past the point where you can fill 65, 70 million rally at least to start doing damage on some of these big keeps. So
Right.
I think if you're smaller than that, it might have been, it might be just a matter of fact that your play style would have to be different. Yeah.
Right. Got it. So, reens work a lot better now, right? Do you have a reen plan for keeps which can get soloed, like you someone keeps an eye on them or something?
Right now we don't, um, because we don't have any keeps that can realistically just throw reins out there and say, I'm safe and no one's gonna touch me or no one's gonna rally me. Like, I'm pretty sure if I play NFG right now, whenever Fox see me set on someone, he'll set on me. That's what happened the last 3 or 4 times we play, and I have to dodge basically. So we don't have any keep that can just throw the marches out there and say and pre-rank. So
Right.
that's why it's extra important that we can tank solos by ourselves. Against rallying, of course, we do speed rain as much as we can. But apart
Right.
from that, it's really just about surviving. So lots of practice, lots of getting stomped, and getting better from that. Yeah.
Right. Do you guys have like any exercises outside battlefield where you practice these things, or it's just battlefields?
No, it's just battlefield.
But you talk about strat outside, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We do.
okay, okay. So, like going forward, what would be your strategy? Like, would you would you and Damon? I think you're the two biggest, right? Are you trying to go to a place where you can throw pre-reins, or are you like just trying to grow the team laterally at this point? Or what's your strategy? Like, are you going for a top heavy meta, like all alts and RSS goes to the big keep so that they can go up faster, or are you just trying to grow laterally that so that no one can be soloed?
Yeah, no, I think we're going
And
for a lateral build. Definitely.
right,
So we cannot be solo. That would be our first and most important goal. Um,
right.
I
So
mean,
you're not looking at a point like where you can just throw pre-reins because you know that the bigs won't get hit.
no, yeah, no, and also, I don't think pre-rain would prevent big rallies in like against big teams and in Shalon. Like if it's 75 million rallies, I think 1 or 2 pre-range is not really gonna help. So I think it's just a good practice to build in the culture that if you don't run, you're gonna die. So it's better that
Right.
way.
Okay, so what I would request you is like for I see a lot of really big keeps in maybe C4 and in C5 also. What would be your advice to them, like playing in a rally team versus one big keep and uh, other keeps not being able to keep up like that? Uh, what would be your advice to them?
Um, so definitely, I think I mean right now, if you're a big K44 or 45 and you're a solo, it will feel good for a while, but soon enough, defense will catch up, right? We see this time and time again when first
Defense
K40
is
first.
already getting better. Defense is
Yeah, yeah,
already
like
getting better.
defense are already getting tougher. So I think being solo is gonna be not gonna be scalable in the long term, and also it's boring playing by yourself, right? So definitely try and build the team and motivate them to begin with. So A lot of our folks are not coiners to begin with, right? Like if you leave them by themselves, they'll be VIP 15 forever. But once they get
Right,
to be part of a rally team and they get motivated, they can go up to VIP 18, 19. So
right.
you got to get
So
people to be
how do you
interested in the game first.
how do you motivate someone to like develop?
You just ask them to join rally. The moment they see that there's more to the game than just being a tiny small keep and playing buildings, they'll like it naturally. That's what we did, right? We get everybody to 1,000 range attack, join the rally. You can join two rallies and run out of troops and die. That's fine. But then once they see that, oh, this is a lot more fun way to play than just be a tiny keep and just fight buildings all the time, send one march at a time, they would naturally, be more interested. And also, you
Right.
should definitely focus on recruitment, right? I think one of the things that we suck at the most is recruitment. I mean, you were at one point in time almost joining our alliance, we just didn't have any keep for you. So I think it
Yeah,
would
that's
have
right.
been very different.
So DTP was my first choice. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I
so the
think
recruitment is definitely important because the fact is that people are eventually going to leave the game, right? So if you don't try and get new people into your alliance, eventually uh, it would plateau and it wouldn't have any new keeps or new investment into the alliance and into the server. So you
yeah, I
either
think
recruit or if you can't, just go find a better server. Buy in somewhere else if you're a solo player.
yeah, and I think it's at the end of the day, it's a pay to win game, and I mean, if like certain people are not coining in a team, and you want to be a top team, you're basically hindering the rest of the team. This is just, I mean, I know it's a very rude way to talk about it, but these are facts, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't know, I mean, if they don't build it, they keep right. They just build power and they don't coin. They have low stats. They're actually exposure in battlefield, right? In a
This is what.
battlefield,
Sorry, yes.
it's,
Please go
I
on.
was just gonna say there's limited points to be had. So the bigger you are, but the worse you're built, it's just the more points you're giving to the opponents.
Yeah, agreed, agreed, agreed. Also, this is what like I told my last server before I left that guys, I am like, I want to win, so I put in money, right? But if you guys don't want to win, we are friends and we'll remain friends. But if you guys don't want to put in money or build properly or be motivated about the game or learn the game, because I used to put like a lot of effort on that server, then
Yeah.
my money and time is wasted. So we don't need to be like bad friends or something. Let me just leave. And they said, yeah, we don't want to play that seriously, and I left. So I think everyone in the team needs to understand this very important that one person holding back a keep is basically uh, have causing problems to everyone in the team. Would you like to comment on this?
That's true. That's true. I mean, it also depends on how competitive you are, right? Obviously, Vic is super competitive. You guys are always fighting for the top spot in the game. So I mean, I definitely can see where that's coming from. But I think for us, we're not at that point of competitiveness.
Right,
So there is definitely always demand for people to build right and play it well. But at least from my alliance, if they don't coin, it's fine. We don't really have a coining requirement, so we're happy. Not being top three. We're fine with being top 20. Um,
right.
During normal Battlefield season, we're even top 50, I would say. But is what matters is when it matters. Like in Shalon, everybody can pull together and perform.
Right, agreed. No, but even see, like in Vig, we don't have like a coining a requirement for like every keep, right? Like there are like K39s and K40s, right? Like who are like absolutely free to play. They just build in a way that they can't be soloed. Not everyone has to coin, but yes, of course, like if you're taking a K42, K43 in Vig, uh, we kind of like we don't like ask you to coin, but we recruit players who are competitive enough to take it to K45.
I mean, you also
But
have Boss and Kara who would convince you to sell your house to coin. So I don't know.
yeah, yeah, Kara will like start with like this cake is so good, and like of course that influences everyone, right? This cake is so good, and boss would be like, without flexible specialty, like this changes the game. So they are so passionate about the game. So you hear them and you're like, okay, I want this stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. But I
Well,
think
there you
that
go.
every alliance has, right? Like someone who's very passionate about the game and talking about packs, and like how that improves the castle. I think even in DTP you will have people like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's usually me. So,
Right,
whenever something is good that is out, I'll be broadcasting to everyone, "Hey guys, this is a super good pack. You have to buy it," like that kind of thing. But I
right.
mean, it doesn't change the fact that we're a low coining alliance, right? Every time I log on and I look at the alliance gift, and if there's a few pack five in there, meaning people coin $100 pack, that usually makes my day. But it doesn't very often. Doesn't happen very often. So
Okay. So, regarding recruitment, what are your most important considerations?
um, I think it's skill is definitely the top choice. Like I've been trying to recruit Chuppy since forever. She's a great spotter. She was the reason that we won the season six Shalon, right? If you watch the recording in the final, the only reason why we won was because we had an early lead, and the rallying speed has a lot to do with that. So just the fact that you have a good spotter that can find every single keep with information like what's the power level, do they have a march out or not, and you can rally them on the spot. That's what gave us the early 100K lead. And when you're playing from above, uh, uh, from ahead, and there's limited points on the map, that's the only way that you can win Val, which has like 500% more stat than we did. So I think
Right,
the skill set is the most important one, right? If you have good players in your team, they can spot, they can be very helpful. They would survive longer, they would make in more rallies. So at least for us, that's more important, right? As for some other team, maybe your criteria can change. Maybe you say, I want some big guy, that can coin
no,
and
we
make them stronger.
no. So for us, the first criteria would be like, so me and Oz actually talk about it a lot. So the first criteria would be culture fit, right? Because
Right.
Vig is a very happy place, right? Are like, we are always joking and trolling each other. I mean, yes, about coining sometimes, but like about a lot of things, we are always trolling each other, right? We don't want to be an alliance where no one can take a joke.
Yeah.
Um, we don't want to be an alliance where there is one Bitcoiner ego. So, right, like, I mean, some Bitcoiners have egos, right? So we don't want to be an alliance where there is that. So culture fit is probably the most important part for us. We don't have any like big keeps where we can actually like uh, where we can have, where we actually think, like, I mean, of course, like, if we sell bosses keep, we will definitely look for a mega coiner. If we sell my keep, we'll definitely look for a mega coiner.
Yeah.
There is no two ways around it, right? We will not just like give it to someone for skill. Like,
Yeah.
it won't happen. But yes, like, otherwise we look for we look for culture fit, and we look for skills more than anything else. And I think what you said about Chubby is right, that one skilled player can actually make a difference in a close match, and that is
Correct.
very, very right.
Yeah. And that's why you should also find, build up a good network, find people to that can fill for you. That really helps in important matches where it matters, like Shalon final, for example, or a big battlefield match. If you have a
Right,
good network of fillers, you can really build up like an all-star team, and that makes the difference. Who runs the key?
right. Uh but tell me something, doesn't like mm, I mean, I have never been like a really big believer of fillers. We generally like tell people that, like, I mean, we have people associated with Zig who fills generally.
Yeah,
I've never been a like big fan of outside fillers, to be honest. Um, Different reasons, but I have never just felt it, because I want them to integrate. Like, I want everyone who's playing in Vig to integrate with the vision we have for Vig, and not just fill. So, but I get your point that, like, if you have a good uh, good circle of fillers, it makes a
Mhm.
difference in a big match. Uh,
Yeah.
so how do you go about recruitment? Is it central or is it mm, not? Is it like whoever wants can sell their own keep?
So for whatever reason, we very rarely have keeps for sale. Like
Right,
I periodically send out mail to say, hey, if you're getting more of the game, if you're thinking of selling, let me know so I can find someone else to take it over and help you sell, right?
right,
Because selling keeps is actually not easy on this game. You can spend $100,000 and you can maybe try and sell your keep for two, $3,000. That's how much it depreciates.
right,
So um, we recently had two keeps for sale. Luckily, they were sold quickly. Um, so apart from that, there's really not a lot of recruitment opportunities for us. But when we do, then usually we just broadcast it on Discord or post it on YouTube or through word of mouth, I guess.
right. So it's central. It's not uh, individual. Like people who are selling doesn't
No,
just
no.
sell
So
their.
yeah. So we don't have someone that's as good at recruitment as you. So that would
Yeah,
probably
okay.
also be one consideration people should take into account when they build a team, right? Find a good recruiter.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I mean, how do you recruit so many people into Vic, bro? What do you do?
Uh, I think people join teams to play with friends.
Okay.
It's not like it's not it's not like how good you're at the game or yeah. I mean, it helps if you have like videos of being like great rallies and all. People are excited to play in the team, but if they don't like you, they won't come to play with you. Um, it's not like, I mean, like they need to identify with you that, like, okay, this is the guy I want to play with. I will have fun playing with this guy, or I'll have fun playing with this team. So I think that's a very important part. And when you're recruiting, like I have seen some people saying that, hey, you guys don't know anything. You come here and we will teach you. People don't want to be condescended like that.
Hmm.
You just gotta have a more level head about yourself. Just say that we'll learn together mutually,
Yeah.
and I think that works. And to be honest, every recruit teaches us something. So, and yeah, I think there's a critical mass like where people don't know you when you're low key. Like when I first went to C4 for recruitment, that was the first place. We couldn't sell a single keep there. It was horrible. And we had to recruit from C2 and C3, right? And most of our recruitments like were really close friends. So Geek was probably the first one who actually was like, who saw our YouTube and he was like, I want to come and play in VIG. Just give me a castle, I'll come and play in Vig. So that was probably the first one. Otherwise, it was just like friends before that, like close friends wanting to come and play here. That is
Okay.
what it was. So let's talk about Shalons, Karu. Like, uh, even if you don't want to go into details of DTP's preparation, I understand. What would be
Mhm.
your advice for C4 and C5 who are like, or even C3 who want to, or C2 who want to compete at the highest level? How should they build their teams, right? Like, they have 2 months from now. What do you think they should do?
I mean, realistically, the best that you can do is try and get many keep upgrade as you can because the gap
Right,
between 40 and 45 is huge. So, whichever new level of the MA you can do adds so much stats and also the rally spot adds so much troop. Um, Shalon I like Shalon better than Battlefield because it's more chaotic. There's a lot more that can happen in a four-team matchup versus a one-on-one matchup. So,
right.
uh,
Because even if you're outbuffed, you have two other teams to get points from faster than the team
yeah,
you're outbuffed.
correct, exactly. So, in a at least from my personal experience, in a Shalon match, what you want to do is get an early lead, right? The moment you get an early lead, the other teams they would try to uh, play for second. Sometimes they would make bad hits on you because defense is getting better. So if you can tank with reinforcement, they will just slide on you because they need the points. So this apply not only to Shalon but the same in OzR as well. Getting the early lead is so super important First, it's because there's limited points on the map, right? After you've killed all the keeps that are killable, there's just really not that much more points anymore apart from defense. So you want to get to that point where you grab all the points available on the map, and then you just try and play defense from there and maintain your lead. Um, I think this would apply to C2, C3, C4, where everybody's at the stage where most of the matches are playing on in a rally style. I'm not sure about C5. I really don't have any information about C5, but I would assume most of them would still be just solo based at this point, from what I can see. Um,
All right. No, C5 has a few rally teams. The team which
okay.
won, I was just speaking about them with it, like with them about it. The team which won can throw a really mean rally. They don't have the lateral strength, but they can throw
Mm.
a few mean rallies at least.
Yeah, then in those cases, right? If you can do that, then I think the most important prep that you can do is save of heals and speed up for Shalon for when it matters. So what happened is leading up to it, 1 month during the BOC season and the qualifying preliminary, so 2 months worth of battlefield. We basically go into this mode where we don't waste or we don't use anything. So if we're playing a battlefield and we're gonna lose, fuck it. We can get zero. It doesn't matter. We'll get enough points to get into Shalon. We would port right on top of the other team to save as much speed up as possible. And we do not allow people to use any healing because you need to save everything you can so you can go as hard and as long as possible during Shalon. So I think that's one of the important prep that needs to be done. I mean, if you're a huge coding alliance, everybody got loads of heals and loads of speed up, then that might not be a problem. But for the majority of the teams out there, that's probably going to be, they got to have to conserve it that way. And all the more because right now you have the top 64 format, so it is less important to place first in every qualifying match, right? So you can lose once, even twice sometimes. If you score enough points, you'll still be top 64. So conserving for the final when it matters, I think is one advice that I would give. And then apart from that, yeah, you need to get your team to a point where they can't be solo. I think the first team that gets to that point in a continent has the most chance of actually winning it. Because, with all of these big solos, if you can't defend against solo, you're going to be giving up tons of points. It's going to be super disruptive to the way you play. It's not easy to heal and join a rally every match, right? You gotta heal, you gotta constantly ghost, and then you gotta join rally. So you're not gonna make as many rallies. Your speed is gonna be super slow, and it's just overall a lot more stressful. So even though I know that a lot of my team can play that way and can do it, it's never as fast as just not having to worry about taking solos and play without having to ghost. So I think at least from my team, that's the first key goal that we're getting there. And then apart from that, a few key keeps is gonna make the big difference. Um, from my experience, if you have a good team that can fill rally up to 13, 14 people, you don't need all 13, 14 people to be strong. The way that it works in a rally is all of your joiners, they contribute layers into the rally. So the defending keep has to go through those layers before they can kill off your rally. So even if you just have, let's say, 4 or 5 core keeps with really high stat, they can do a bunch of damage, and the rest can just be protective layers so that your core marchers can do more damage before they die. That works. That works perfectly well for us. Um, so that's why having more people to join the rally would be important. I would recommend even if you don't have a full team to really fill up the rally, just train the rest of your team and smaller keeps to just join with layers. Even if you do that, just the fact that the layers are in the rally, you can have 14, 15 people in there, and even 7, 8 of them are just layers. It will still help your rally immensely, from my experience.
Right. Interesting. Very interesting. We actually don't do that. Like we say that. I mean, if you don't have proof, we don't join. So it's like sometimes it's like 10, 11. Of course, in Chalons, I think it would be more. But yeah, sometimes it's like 10, 11 people. But also, I
But I
think
mean,
like
your alliance is also a lot bigger, Viper. So you probably have enough to completely fill your rally.
no, not really. We're like 50, 55 to 65 now. Uh,
Bro, I've seen you fill 75. Stop playing, man.
Yeah, sure, but I'm saying like on a regular basis, like it reduces like after a few rallies it reduces.
Right.
So yeah, but very interesting, Guru. Like anything else you want to talk about DTP, right? Like for anyone who wants to join, like would they be looking at? I understand that you basically don't have keeps for sale regularly, right? So if anyone
Yeah.
is looking for DTP, what should they be looking at, or like anything more you want to talk about DTP?
Okay, so basically, if you want to join us, we I mean we do have keeps for sale because they're small, right? So they're like 5 bill, 4 bill, that kind of thing. So if you don't mind building up not so big and not so greatly coined and greatly built keep, if you don't mind that, I think will be a good fit, right? You don't again, we don't have coining requirements. We just require that you get a lot of family members and your cousins and your relatives to help out running smaller accounts to give you resources. Um, apart from that, we don't really have huge coining requirements, right? So if you don't mind building up a kit and you're bored playing on an island by yourself, or maybe you're new, you're just starting out in C5, C6, for example, you can get in touch with me and I'll hook you up with some keeps. We share a lot of memes in AC. All of our memes are 18 plus. So I think that can be a motivating factor for some people.
But you would like want someone who's motivated, right? Like not just taking a keep and not doing anything, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're taking it over, we can sell it super cheap, like $50, $100. It doesn't matter. It's just something so that I know you have the skin in the game. And yeah, as long as you're active,
Oh,
we're fine, by we're fine with that.
right, just like a token money, just so that there
Pretty
is some
much. Yep.
investment.
Yep.
Right, right, okay. So we just have anyone in the audience if they want to ask any questions, and if not, we can conclude here. Anyone in the audience wants to ask anything? Uh, Let me just write it down. I can see Asansa and TV speaking. Can you stop voting in All Stars? Karu, can you stop voting in All Stars? TV is asking.
Yeah. Not a chance, bro. Yeah, so I think what tips is referring to is the All Star Final. So you guys targeted me a lot because you saw that I was a small tiny K41 then. So what happened
Right.
after a while is I just started porting, and I like to just wait until the very last second after you've sent to port to waste your time. So I think I dodged like 20 rallies in the final, and it's also good, because if you build up a reputation that you're hopping rapids, and words get around, maybe you won't get rally anymore. No, so go and
Yeah.
build up that reputation.
True. 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 But you were not setting in the finals.
Sorry, me?
You were not.
No,
Yeah.
no. So I think for All Star right now, you need the super huge rally
Huge
cap
keep
to
to
really
serve.
make a
Yeah.
dent. Yeah, because defense is so
Agree.
great now, especially with rain. So if you're
Yeah.
sending
Agreed.
65 million, you're not doing anything, bro.
Agreed. 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 So, what's your plan for Shalons? Like, how big do you plan to be for Shalons?
I mean, we plan to fill 17 million, and
So you're
yeah,
like
well,
K43. You're looking at
yeah, yeah,
K43 max.
yeah, I'll probably
That's
be
fantastic.
K43. Yeah,
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. All right. I think this is it. Thank you so much, Guru, for doing this. Thank you for taking out the time. I'm sure whatever you said like was really helpful. We'll upload it on YouTube and then I'll give the link to everyone.
yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Guru. Again. Bye. Thank you, Nox, for recording.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Hey, bye,
Hey,
guys.
thank you. Bye bye.